It was a Wednesday afternoon. I was on my way home from school. I was on the MRT train. It was quite quiet and the train was not too crowded. I was half asleep because was very tired as I had slept rather late the night before. When the train reached Yeochukang station, a group of boys boarded the train. There were about 5 of them and they were talking at the top of their voices. Oh dear, thought, there goes my sleep. However, worse things were to follow. For some reasons they decided to sit quite close to me. It could be because the carriage I was in seemed to be filled with less passengers. 2 of the boys whipped out their yo-yos and started playing with them. In fact, they decided not just to bounce their yo-yos up and down, but to perform tricks with them. So, they started swinging their yo-yos around. One of the yo-yos almost hit me. The passenger who was seated opposite me was not so lucky. He was an elderly man and he got hit hard on his left knee. He let out a shout of pain and shouted at the boys. The boys just ignored him and moved to the next carriage. I sighed with relief. The boys continued to make a lot of noise. One of them even took out 2 speakers from his bag and fixed his co-player to the speakers. In the next second, we were treated to loud rap music. The racket suddenly awakened some passengers who were sleeping. The other passengers stared at the boys in disgust. The elderly man opposite me started grumbling to himself. I was getting very frustrated. I was contemplating whether I should get off at the next station. Matters got even worse when the boys started to attempt climbing up the poles. Some of them fell heavily to the floor of the train. Their friends thought it was hilarious and they laughed loudly and noisily. Then, someone fished out a ball and they started throwing the ball at one another. The last straw came when they started kicking the ball from one carriage to the next. Suddenly, we heard a loud bang. 2 of the boys had crashed onto a passenger in their attempt to get hold of the ball. The passenger, who was a woman in her 30s, screamed loudly. Fortunately, we were near a station. When the train stopped, the driver made an announcement that the train would be stopped for a while because he had to attend to some matters. In the next minute, the driver emerged from his cabin. He spoke sternly to the 5 boys and told them to follow him to the station control. He said he would contact their school principal and the police. The woman shouted that the boys should be arrested for being a public nuisance. The boys were very quiet now and fear was written all over their faces. Serves them right, I thought. The driver took about 10 minutes to settle the matter. He apologized to us for the delay and we continued our journey without any further incident.